Ever wondered if one machine could really handle all your welding and cutting needs without turning your garage into a nightmare of wires and tools? Today, we're diving into the 5 best 6-in-1 Multi Welder 2026, and I'm going to show you exactly how it performs in real projects, what works, what doesn't, and who it's actually for. No fluff, no hype, just honest, hands-on insights from someone who spent hours welding, cutting, and testing it in real-life scenarios. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know if this is a game changer for your workshop or something better left on the shelf. Number 5. FEMEROL 6-in-1. This machine surprised me, and I don't say that often. I plugged it in with low expectations, mostly hoping it wouldn't slow me down. A couple hours later, I realized I'd stopped thinking about the welder at all, and that's usually a good sign. I put it to work on everyday stuff, frame repairs, small fabrication jobs, some quick flux core runs, then back to regular MIG. Nothing fancy. It handled all of it without drama, and the welds came out cleaner than I expected for this kind of setup. What stood out to me was how steady it felt. No constant fighting the arc, just point, weld, move on. Here's the trade-off. It's not lightweight. You're not tossing this in the trunk every day. This makes sense for home garages, hobbyists, and side projects. If you're running production work or need something ultra-compact, this probably isn't your tool. Number 4. AZZUNO 250 amp 6-in-1. I was halfway through fixing a bent metal gate when I realized my old welder just wasn't cutting it anymore. The welds were messy and I kept stopping to adjust things. That's when this AZZUNO welder came into the picture, almost by accident. I set it up in my garage and started using it for small repairs, weekend projects, and the occasional outdoor job. It slid into my routine easily. What I appreciated most was how simple it felt to use. I spent more time welding and less time guessing. That said, you do have to buy a couple extras if you want to do everything it offers. Still, for home projects and side work, I'd happily recommend it. Number 3. HITBOX 270A 6-in-1. Have you ever wished one machine could handle most of the metalwork in your garage without turning it into a full-time job to learn? That's what I was looking for when I started using this welder. I used it for small repairs, cutting down steel pieces, and welding frames without switching between multiple tools. Over time, it became part of the workflow instead of something I had to think about. What stood out was the convenience. Welding and cutting in one place saves time and space, and the machine feels steady once it's set. The trade-off is power access. It needs a 220-volt outlet, which won't work for every garage. If you're a serious DIYer or run a small shop, it makes sense. If you need portability or only have standard outlets, this isn't the one. Number 2. HITBOX 200A 6-in-1. This is the kind of welder you grow into, not one you outgrow. I've used enough machines to know when something is built for control instead of shortcuts, and that's what this one feels like. I spent time using it on aluminum and stainless projects where clean, consistent welds actually matter. Once dialed in, it stays predictable. The arc starts smoothly, adjustments respond the way you expect, and it rewards patience and good technique. It doesn't fight you. That said, it's not forgiving. If you're new to TIG, the learning curve is real, and you'll feel it. For experienced hobbyists or small shop welders who care about precision, it's a solid choice. If you want simple and fast, this isn't your machine. Number 1. Decapower Fusion Multifunction. I use the Decapower Fusion to repair a small aluminum gate in my garage. Switching between MIG for the frame and HF TIG for the corners was seamless. The machine handled both materials without constant adjustment. What stood out was the interface. The large screen and logical controls made changing settings fast and intuitive. I didn't have to guess at wire speed or current, which kept the workflow smooth. One downside is the complexity. If you only need basic MIG welding, most of the features go unused, and the setup can feel overwhelming. This machine is ideal for serious DIYers, hobbyists, or small shops that work with multiple materials and occasional cutting. It is not for beginners who just need a simple MIG or for anyone limited to standard 110-volt outlets. It rewards patience and experience, but beginners may struggle at first.
Thanks for sticking around. I hope this gave you a clear idea of how the 6-in-1 welder handles real projects and what to expect. If you want to dive a little deeper or check out more details, I've dropped some links in the description. You can take a look whenever it's convenient. Just use them as a reference, no rush. And if you found this helpful, feel free to subscribe for more honest, hands-on reviews. All right, I'm off to finish a little project in the garage. Catch you in the next one.